Most people think the AI race will be won by whoever builds the smartest model. SpaceX is betting on something different. It doesn't need the smartest model. It needs to own the infrastructure every model depends on. Here is the clearest evidence. Google now pays SpaceX over $920 million a month for compute capacity, confirmed in SpaceX's own regulatory filings. That access includes roughly 110,000 NVIDIA GPUs, running from 2026 through 2029. Anthropic pays SpaceX even more. It leases the entire capacity of a SpaceX data center originally built for Musk's own AI lab. Combined, these two deals alone are worth roughly $26 billion per year to SpaceX, with the Google deal alone generating $29.5 billion over the contract's term. A rocket company has become one of the most important landlords in artificial intelligence. Here is the world everyone already understands. AI companies need compute. Compute needs land, power, and chips. And right now, there is not enough of any of it. The popular story says SpaceX's AI ambitions begin and end with one product. A chatbot called Grok, built to compete with ChatGPT and Claude. But while the world watched the chatbot race, SpaceX made its boldest move days after going public. 4 days later, it announced something almost nobody saw coming. A $60 billion all-stock deal to acquire Cursor, the AI coding platform. It is the largest acquisition of a venture-backed startup ever recorded. Here is the detail most coverage missed. Cursor's market share had been falling, down from 41% to roughly 26%, as Anthropic's competing tools gained ground. Cursor was a fast-growing company that had started paying rent to its own competitors for the compute it needed to survive. SpaceX didn't just buy a coding tool. It bought its way out of being a customer and into being the owner. That is the real pattern behind every deal SpaceX has signed this year. It isn't trying to win the model race. It's positioning itself as the toll booth every AI company eventually has to pass through, whether or not its own model ever leads the field. Then came the filing that pushed this strategy further than anyone expected. SpaceX has asked regulators for approval to launch up to 1 million satellites, designed to function as an orbital data center. The project has a name now: Starmind. A Starlink satellite is a pipe, moving data from one place to another. A Starmind satellite would be a server, processing data in orbit. The pitch is simple: constant solar power, no land, no water, no grid connection to negotiate. If it works, SpaceX wouldn't just rent out compute. It would own a category of infrastructure no competitor can replicate on the ground. But this part of the bet is not proven. Deutsche Bank estimates orbital compute won't be cost competitive with ground-based data centers until well into the 2030s, not the 2 to 3 years Musk has projected. Some analysts have called the timeline more science fiction than strategy. So the real question isn't whether SpaceX can build the satellites. It's whether AI demand stays strong enough, for long enough, for that bet to pay off before the spending catches up with it. There is also a complication closer to home. SpaceX merged with xAI, Musk's own AI lab, in a deal that valued the combined company at $1.25 trillion. But SpaceX is no longer a neutral landlord. It merged with xAI, its own AI lab, which competes directly with Google and Anthropic for enterprise AI customers. Will those customers keep paying rent to a landlord that also owns one of their competitors? That question is still unanswered. Here's what this means if you're a CEO or CFO investing in AI today. Every AI tool your company uses depends on 3 things: computer chips, powerful servers, and electricity. The problem? There isn't enough of any of them. That means the companies providing AI computing power are quietly becoming some of the most powerful businesses in the world. Most executives still treat AI contracts like any other software purchase. Compare a few vendors, pick the best price, sign the renewal. That mindset is becoming risky. Imagine if one supplier controlled a critical part your entire business depended on. You wouldn't rely on just one company. You'd lock in long-term agreements. You'd build backup options. And you'd keep a close eye on where their interests. AI infrastructure deserves the same level of attention. There is an old saying about gold rushes. The people who got rich were not always the ones panning for gold. They were the ones selling the shovels. SpaceX is selling the shovels. The question for every executive in the room is simple. Do you know who is selling yours? Because once you know, the move is straightforward. Don't rely on a single provider. Lock in terms before scarcity gets worse. And make sure your contracts give you the right to walk away if your infrastructure partner's interests stop matching yours. The executives who ask this question now will have options. The ones who don't will simply inherit whatever terms the landlord decides to offer.